Hi there, namaste, and welcome back to another Spiritualistik Pick a Card reading. Today I have a message to you from a passed on loved one. So please take a deep breath, drawing the energy up your spine, creating a clear, open channel. As you exhale, come into clear knowing which group or groups has your message in it for you today. We have Group 1 on the left with By the Moon, Group 2 in the center with Earned Success, and Group 3 on the right with Psychometry and Clairabilities. If you'd like to meditate with me, it's the first link in the description box below. The timestamps to your readings are the last links in the description box below. And I do want to let you know I have personal readings and sessions on sale on my Etsy store from October all the way through January. So if you're interested in booking with me for the holiday season, they make great gifts. You can also buy one and put it on hold for later. I've had people doing that and I was like, oh yeah, you could do that too. That's totally cool. So you're more than welcome to do that. Again, I've got sales on my store all the way through January. So check it out. Now is the wonderful time to book that. And with that being said, I love you and I'm grateful for you. Have an amazing day, week, month, year, and incarnation. And I'll see you over at your reading. Namaste. Hi there, Group 1. Namaste and welcome to your reading. Today I'm channeling a message to you from a passed on loved one. And you selected the first group with the By the Moon card. Group 1. This person wants to let you know that you should be very proud of yourself. They want you to have a lot more confidence in yourself. And I'm being shown a mustache and glasses for some reason. They want you to know that I'm also smelling cigarettes, but I'm getting that it might be from them, but it might just be that it's on their clothes that's coming through specifically. So they might be around that, or they might partake in it secretly or something. For some of you, it's just straight shooter, but anyway. The energy that's coming through is someone that is very black or white. They have their beliefs and they stick to them, and they don't really stray off of that. They've made up their mind. They're very educated. They decide, I've collected all pieces of data that I wish. This is what I choose to believe. This is what I choose to follow. This is my stance on things, and I'm sticking to it. It's giving maybe fixed sign, or perhaps like Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, maybe Pisces. Okay. Like the last 4 zodiac signs, or like fixed signs. Okay. They see the way that you have grown over time. They also see that certain circumstances or certain surroundings I'm getting wax or wane your confidence, your solar plexus, your confidence in who you are. Not that you don't know who you are or what you're about, but maybe your confidence in expressing that loudly, boldly, unapologetically. I'm getting that the way that you would speak to everyone in your life is not necessarily equal, okay? And it's not because you do that on purpose. It's maybe because, say you have a friend who is fully open and they're non-judgmental and they love you for who you are. They're always hyping you up. So you might be a little cheekier. You might be a little more sarcastic. You might crack those jokes. You might talk about your confidence a little bit more. Like, yeah, like I'm pretty, of course. Or, oh, haha, making a trauma joke, blah, 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 right? And they might be totally understanding and accepting of that. So you'll be louder and bolder around that person. Now, I'll say that on the flip side, maybe you've got some family or some neighbors that maybe they're really judgy, maybe they're really gossipy, maybe they're not the kindest towards you, maybe they would love it for you to shrink yourself a little bit, or they want you to follow certain beliefs. This is where they're saying you'll be the same person, but you might turn down the volume a little bit. And they want you to, I'm hearing, not give a crap if you are too loud for them. Not give a crap if what you have to say creates, I'm hearing cognitive dissonance in them, if it fries them out, if it gives them a little shock to their system. Because you are meant to scare away the people that aren't meant for you, and in that same vein, draw in the people that are. This person wants you to be aware that you are very, very powerful. I'm being shown a dragon also. This person could be born in a year of a dragon, or the year of the dragon could be when this person passed over, or it could have just been a very impactful year for you, which they're pulling examples from here. With this energy, they want to tell you that they, from a spiritual perspective, they successfully completed their karma in their lifetime. And they're very, very happy with where they are now. They see that you've done the same, but you have a lot of life left. And so with that, they want you not to be afraid to, I'm hearing, instigate and make a little bit of trouble. Now, they're not saying to act out of integrity or be anything other than yourself, but just like that example of that friend who's super non-judgmental, super supportive versus someone in your life who might be the opposite of that. Now, when you're around your friend, you might say, oh, we get into trouble together, right? I'm hearing, on my mama, on my hood, I look fly, I look good, like, which is so funny. But you wouldn't necessarily bring that energy around perhaps other people. And if you did, it might be considered making trouble. Oh, there's group one at it again. And that is where they're saying, don't be afraid to instigate. Don't be afraid to be too much. Don't be afraid to incite a little bit of trouble. And I'm also getting that this person, they weren't afraid to do it either. They were not afraid to hold, express, and stand on their beliefs that are different from perhaps the same group of people that you might be dealing with this energy with as well, or one that's parallel to it. Nonetheless, they want you to know that they're keeping a close eye on you. And I'm also getting that someone's departing message to you that feels like it's not them. Like they observed someone whisper something in your ear or make a comment under their breath or say something sneaky before you walked away or they left or something like this. They want to let you know that they saw that. You're not the only one who saw that. They also want to let you know that they fully disapprove of that. Okay? I'm hearing they're saying blood is thicker than water. Exactly. That's why water flows and we drink it, and we don't do the same with blood. Okay? Let's get into the tarot and see what other messages this past on loved one of yours has to tell you. While I shuffle, let me keep this energy in the deck here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It means the world. Drop a comment. Put a little pink sparkly heart if that resonates with you in the comments. And I also want to tell you that I've got personals on sale right now. So I'm doing a holiday sale from October all the way through January. So now's a great time to book for yourself for now, the holiday season. Lord knows we need it in the holidays. Or if you want to do it as a gift, or you just want to take advantage of the sale and like put it on ice for later, you can do that too. So what's your message from this person? This person seems like they're around you a lot. They're watching you create something, and they want to tell you that it's very, very special what it is that you're doing. Okay? It's very, very special, and they want to tell you that it's something that runs in your blood, but they don't want you to sacrifice yourself while you're doing it. They also want to send this message to you to continue to have faith in who you are and what it is that you're working towards. Have faith, they're saying, if not in spirituality, if not in God, if not in the divine, if not in something greater than you, have faith in yourself. And that's not to say that there are not unseen forces on your side, because this past on loved one of yours certainly is, and most of you, not all of you, and of course you don't have to, whatever resonates with your beliefs, whether it's science, whether it's source, whether it's God, whether it's, flying spaghetti monster, they want to remind you that there are unseen forces that are cheering for you. And at the very least, believe in yourself. Have faith in yourself and what it is that you've done and what it is that you've built. Even if it has to be tangible, tactical, practical, okay? You can hold something that you've built in your hands. And that is proof enough that you've done it. That is proof enough that you've been successful at it. And they want you to continue moving forward like this. Now, of course, we are on the Spiritualistik channel on a tarot reading, so most of you do believe in unseen. Most of you do believe in metaphysical things, especially with the topic of this reading. But they also want to tell you that the love that you have to offer is also something that deserves to be felt in a community and in a home as well, okay? They want to remind you that you have learned how to teach. You've learned how to embody and teach a beautiful energy that you never quite got to receive. And that is beautiful. But it's also, they're saying, in giving we receive. You don't give in order to receive, but with 444 coming out here, they want to tell you that it's about time that you do. And that it's going to happen from whatever it is that you've built. Again, something that you embody, that you teach, that you're able to give and you're able to teach, but you were never receiving. And because of that, they want to let you know that now is a wonderful time for you to rest, but also that victory is ahead. In something that you have dipped your toe in recently, something that you've started to build or started to consider recently. There's something here about love that is unable to be expressed, either from wounds or from conditioning or from patterns or habits or something like this, not on your end, but that of others. And they want to tell you that they see things that you don't, and they're kind of laughing, and they're saying, there are some of these people, some of these energies that are hanging on by a thread, so don't worry. It's giving a chuckling energy. It's not giving malicious at all. It's not even giving like, haha, they've got what's coming to them. It's just like, when like an older person who's lived a very long time and they're very comfortable with life, or a very, very evolved, like ascended master kind of vibe, they see like things as childish behavior, but not in a way where they're above it, in a way where it's like, it's cute and it's sweet and it's precious. It's like, reminding me when I was very, very little. I've needed glasses my whole life, but before I had my glasses, I used to walk into walls on accident all the time, like next to the door, next to the stairs. And while, the people around me were concerned, they would laugh because it was funny, right? It's me being subjected to my own demise, right? So it's kind of something like this. And then I would figure it out, walk up the stairs, and, we'd laugh it off. It's kind of giving that energy where it's sweet and it's innocent and it's kind of like, oh, haha, like silly. And so they want to tell you that they're seeing energies like that around you with some of the energies that maybe weren't holding that space for you or giving you what it is that you needed. They do want to let you know that they can see an energy that's coming into your life of stability, of something with home, something with finances, something that is a new permanent fixture in your life, or something that is going to make a change. But it's also been something that's been hidden or kept from you for a very long time, because your job was to be patient, was to be slow, was to learn, was to grow your confidence. It's not about just having faith in something bigger than you. It's also about having faith in yourself. And so for some of you, you needed to learn to have faith in yourself, not just in the things outside of you. And for another group of you, you needed to learn to have faith in something outside of you and not just in yourself. Because some of you were raised hyper-independent. Well, actually, probably most of you are hyper-independent. And while it's great to be self-sufficient, I'm never going to knock that personally, there's also two ways that can kind of manifest as maybe a trauma response, or maybe just a coping mechanism, or maybe just out of habit, right? One can be, well, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. You can't really trust these people out here. You never know who's going to put their little grubby fingers on stuff, or who's going to say stuff, or, you don't want to speak on the things you've got going on, because then it'll take away your blessings. We all know when you tell your friend about that person you're dating, as soon as you tell your friends, all of a sudden the relationship falls apart. It's giving that. Or it's giving kind of, maybe, I say very gently, like learned helplessness a little bit, or, the divine always comes through for me. I'm a child of the divine raised me. The divine's always got my back. I do everything that I can, and it's really not much, but the divine somehow always comes through for me. It's like you do every single thing that you possibly can, but sometimes what's available to you isn't more than what's available to the divine. It feels like you're a co-creator, but like emphasis on, the divine. The divine has all these faded aspects for you, and you just have to do your best despite struggle after struggle after struggle, right? So there's a little bit of that that's come into balance. And with that energy coming into balance, they want to tell you that the struggle is not for nothing. They also want to tell you to keep putting one foot in front of the other, specifically after you reach this victory. They want to tell you that this victory is fair, it is just, and it is, it's come to cleanly, which is important. I'm getting for your karma and that of your family or your bloodline or something. It's important that success is reached cleanly and in integrity, which it is with you. But they do want to send you this message now. Once you reach this victory, you're going to feel very happy. You're going to feel very excited. But what they want to make sure that you know is to continue moving forward from that. Please don't allow that to be your landing point, is the message that they have for you, because you deserve better than just making it out. You deserve better than just finally being okay. You deserve better than just finally being stable, or finally being comfortable, or finally reaching that milestone in life, whatever that looks like for you. They don't want that to be the hill that you die on. They want you to keep moving forward from there. They also do want you to celebrate. They do also want you to have fun. They do also want you to let your inner child come out and play and express. But notice that that will be a bit of a reaction from the versions of you that you maybe needed to repress in order to get there in the first place. Which comes back around to the first message. Express your whole self loudly, obnoxiously, unapologetically, beautifully, authentically, and do not give a crap about who comes or goes, because you will be magnetizing in people who love and appreciate and cherish you for exactly who, what, when, where, why, how you are. And if anyone gets frightened by that, or they run away, or they're judging you, good. Because you don't have space for those energies in your life anyway. It shows the true colors of the ops. That was my word, probably not their word. It shows the true colors of those who maybe aren't on your side all the way. And it brings in those who will be by your side and they'll fight with you to the end. And you for them too. You deserve ride or dies in your life. This passed on loved one of yours knows exactly what it feels like to have a ride or die and to be a ride or die. And they want to tell you that that is something special and sacred and magical. And when you find it, you want to hold on to it for dear life and know it's not codependent. But it is rare. And with that, they want you to have more faith in yourself in order to get you there and in order to accept it and receive it when it comes in. Because adding that to your life can be a permanent fixture that is also a smart investment and invests in your happiness too. You might have a difficult time trusting others, and they want to tell you that this is going to come in right before your victory does. And it's going to show you specifically that this energy does not show up in your life performatively because of this victory. And that is the part that counts. Group number 1, that is your channeled message from your passed on loved one. I hope this helped shed love, light, and clarity for you. If you're interested in a personal, I have them on sale right now. They're on my Etsy at Spiritualistik. You can find it in the description box. If you'd like to meditate with me, that's the first link in the description box below. It's a meditation collection you have access to forever. So definitely take advantage of that resource. I've got my readings, my personals on sale all holiday season. So now's a great time to gift or to book one for later. And I also want to let you know that it would mean the world to me if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, followed me on TikTok and on Instagram. Maybe even dropped a comment. Okay? I love you and I'm grateful for you. Have an amazing day, week, month, year, incarnation in this beautiful magical realm. Check out another pile or another reading of mine and I'll see you next time. Namaste. Hi there, group 2. Namaste and welcome to your reading. Today I'm channeling a message to you from a passed on loved one. And you selected the second group with the Earned Success card. Group number 2. The energy that's coming through here feels like it's someone who has reached a point of success in their life that feels not widely understood or talked about. I'm getting that they've reached some sort of shared definition of success that you both have in some way, but maybe they didn't talk about it a lot, or maybe it's something that others around them didn't know about or didn't understand, and they want to tell you that you are like them in a certain aspect. They want to come through and tell you that you are nearing a definition of success that they reached that you two have in common. They want you to be aware of the fact that your gifts are what make you shine, but it's not who you are. You have much more to offer the world than what it is that you can do. You are worthy enough as you are. This is something that they had to learn the hard way and wish that they learned sooner in their life. That there's so much more than what they can do or what they can give to people. They want to let you know that they've been watching you and that they respect a desire for a particular ancestral connection that you have been deliberating lately. And they also want to let you know that they have elbowed certain people into your life, and they're also in assistance in keeping certain people in arm's length from you as well. You might find that when you have a particular self-definition or when you're in a particular vibe, certain energies are at an arm's length, and this is the help of this passed on loved one. And also, when you are maybe fully in your power, or you're expressing yourself confidently, or you are in the vibe of progression and success, or just a vibe that can't really be thrown off easily, then these energies can come in and you can, enjoy them, play with them, experience them, whatever it is. They want to remind you to connect with your true ruling element. Your ruling element is not the element of your sun sign in astrology. It might be for some of you, but just because you're Sagittarius doesn't make you fire ruled. As an example. So if you're familiar with what your ruling element is, lean into it. I'm getting specifically today, specifically tonight. There's a strength and a power to it. There's a gift. I'm getting a message in the wind for something. For some of you, there's a message in the fire or a message in the water. There's something like this. They also want to remind you or just tell you that you have mastered some energies to the point where the rules no longer apply to you. And it's not in a place of comparison with anything outside of yourself. Rather, if you look at the system that you utilize to grow into who you are, that's a great system to arrive at your desired energy or destination. But to be in that destination, to be in that energy, a lot of those rules do not apply anymore, and different rules do. And so they would like you to find this through your ruling element. And they also would like to remind you that, well, right now, you are receiving a lot of positive feedback, a lot of positive experiences and opportunities in this life. They want to remind you that this is nothing but a game, and to enjoy the process of being in it. You don't always need to be collecting coins or XP or unlocking levels of the map or levels of the video game. You can enjoy it. I'm being shown like an open world game that also has options to do other things like that. You're not required to reach success in other people's definition, but to explore what that feels like on your own. Again, back to some sort of shared definition of success that you two have. They want to tell you you're closer than you think. And I'm being shown the number 8. They do want to tell you that you have abundance on its way, and they're saying that just because something is hard-earned does not necessarily make it less prized or enjoyable when it arrives. Sometimes when you work really hard for something, that can make the result even more delicious, even more enjoyable. I'm going to get into the tarot here and see what other messages they have for you. It seems that a lot has shifted in your energy field, in your inner energy, in your life, and now things are kind of following suit in the material realm. They want you to continue to move forward with I'm getting a tiny project or a tiny thing that you have that you like, okay? But it's something that you're not keeping to yourself or you don't plan to keep to yourself. For example, it's something that you create and you give to someone else. It might be a gift that you're making someone else. It could be something that you're creating so that it makes the world a better place, or you can share it with friends, family, loved ones, clients, something like this. They want you to keep moving forward with this because it's a part of your authentic expression that they want to make sure that you don't lose. There's something about after this large transformation that you've gone through, picking up the pieces from, let's say, the rubble after the tower falls and seeing the things that do last here, okay? And the things that do last are going to be all of the things that make you happy, right? The things that are worth it. And so this is actually helping you to see not just who you are, because you know spiritually, and you have a pretty good idea mentally and emotionally, but in a more solid and permanent aspect, to have a more permanent idea of your sense of self, what makes you happy, what you like, what you don't, what you enjoy, what you don't, where the fine line is in areas of life where it's not just so black or white or yes or no, or you like it or you don't. I'm getting like extenuating circumstances. This past on loved one of yours wants to let you know that they wish that they were able to leave more behind for you in terms of something material, but I'm getting that there wasn't enough to go around, and they put all their eggs in one basket as a symbol of devotion to something or someone that didn't know they were devoted to them, or to reassure someone or something that they were devoted to it, is kind of the energy that's coming through here. They do want to let you know that there's something that has been withheld from you. I'm getting something like a family secret, or a gift, or a piece of information that I'm getting is something that you've learned in your own right, but don't know that it applies to this passed on loved one or this group of people that you resonate with this passed on loved one. They want to tell you, of course, that they love you and they support you, and also that they wish that they had a deeper relationship with you while they were alive. There's something here about you needing to go at it alone and that not being fair. You finding balance with resources that you had no way of acquiring. And they want you to know that they saw that from the very beginning, and they wish that they had been more present and more present in your life, and also more determined to give you a helping hand. I'm hearing two things. They knew, but they couldn't do, or they couldn't possibly know what they weren't told. So there's a little bit of this conflicting energy here. This feels like someone who has access to intuition, but maybe didn't know how to follow it. Or it feels like someone who listened to their intuition, but let other people talk them out of following it. Or they're picking up on something, but they trust the common consensus of the people around them, or the status quo, or something like this over their intuition is kind of the vibe that it's giving here. And they're saying that they wish that they had been more receptive towards their intuition and their spirituality, so that they could direct their energy in ways that were more helpful towards you and towards humanity as a whole. There's this feeling of that they did what they felt they were supposed to do, that it's only from being on the other side that they were actually able to see that they were following some sort of a system that was pre-embedded or coded for them, rather than following the truth of the universal flow. They do want to let you know that they send you little messages here. This feels like someone who is maybe on your spirit team, but they're not there all the time. This feels like someone who shows up like a heavy hitter or is nowhere to be found. Not too much in between, maybe the occasional wink or nudge. They want to tell you that they know that you are stronger than them. They know that you are more truthful than them, more insightful than them, smarter than them, wiser than them, have a deeper connection to spirituality than them. But I also feel like this is the message that wants to come through, them acknowledging this. But there's also this deep sense of pride and ego. It's like a brick wall that this needs to filter through a little bit. I'm being shown like a ghost walking through a wall. Like the spiritual self is passing this barricade of this almost wanting to be a Mr. Mrs. person know-it-all kind of energy. This might have been someone who was very much a control freak, or this can be someone who was in control a lot, maybe not by their own doing. It can be someone who had maybe a position of power, or they were a matriarch or patriarch of a family. This can be someone who what they say goes, maybe in the workplace, in insert the area of life again. But they're aware, specifically on the other side and spiritually, and their truth is they know that they had so much that they didn't need to acquire or work for. They did, but I'm being shown like for them, something they see is their 10% effort yields 80% results, whereas your 110% effort yields 30% results. Yet, when it comes to, I'm hearing something to show for it, you are neck and neck. You have the same results. Or it can be something along the lines of you've put forth the amount of effort that they've expended, like that 10%, and then another 10%, and then another 10% over the course of their life. If you're giving 110%, well, that's more than a decade of their life right there. And so they want to draw awareness to the fact that something here is not equal. It's not equal. And that I'm getting like you're quicker on your feet than they are. You have better access to your spirituality than they are. It might be that you're smarter or you're wiser. And there's also this little energy that's like, okay, that's enough. Because there's this pride. Again, it's feeling like a control energy, but it's also giving like, it doesn't feel like it's coming from them. It feels like it's coming through them. Like it might be ancestral, or it might be anxiety or something like that, because their genuine self wants you to know that they hold a special place in their heart for you. And that there's something here that they feel like they messed up that you probably don't even know about, physically speaking. And it has to do with community or family or love, or for some of you, intuition. I'm getting passing down the spiritual torch, or passing down the emotional lessons, or being a support system, or something like this. They feel very much that, like, it feels like they're, I'm getting almost like Miranda Priestley vibes from The Devil Wears Prada, but not her as a character, but the way that she might present a message of, just so you know, I feel that there are things that maybe I could have been there more, but I'm still me. It's like still holding that control, just disguised as poise a little bit. It's like I will acknowledge that even while I'm maybe speaking down a little bit, like down to you or down to people in general, like just a little bit. Like I'm still at the top here, although maybe I don't deserve to be, but I still am, and that's going to be respected, and it's a fact, and I'm going to cling on to that for dear life. It's like kind of this vibe, a little bit, that I'm getting respectfully from this person. But it doesn't feel like they created it. It feels like it's coming through them. Like, so it might be ancestral, it might be something they were taught, it might be the only way that they knew how to, like, I'm hearing grasp at straws or even make it, okay, in life. But the energy that's coming through that is that they wish they were there more. They wish they were a better support. They wish that they were more loving. They wish that they were a better family member or a better friend or a better, just a better support. There's something here about them ignoring the struggles of others. And it can also be a little bit of that like light and love fairy kind of energy that does ignore the darkness. Or it's like that friend where they're there when everything is so good and you're having a good time, but then if you're struggling and you maybe actually like need a friend, or maybe you're not super fun to hang out with right now, they're nowhere to be seen. And then all of a sudden you're happy and spunky and you want to go like get smoothies and go to the park and have fun, then all of a sudden they're there again. They're kind of giving this vibe a little bit, like they kind of float from good to good to good to good. And it's not because their life is good. It maybe feels like they repress or suppress or oppress difficulties in themselves or others, difficult emotions in themselves or others. And so that is something that they've witnessed and learned from the other side. I'm getting that's karma they'll pick up for the next life, and they're aware of that too. Part of the message they want to spend a little more specifically for you today, a big part of this is I'm getting you're the only one that will listen to this message from them. So it might be that you're the only one that they know that is into maybe tarot readings, or you're the only one that they know that is a medium. It could be that you're the only one that they know that even believes in souls or whatever it is. Okay, so it's like you're the only one that they can share these messages to, which is why they're kind of offloading it onto you. But there's also this awareness too that it's not your responsibility and it's not your job. Like they want to get this off their chest, yet they're supposed to be your spirit guide. Like there's a little bit of this vibe. It's almost giving like a parentified child kind of energy, except it's like more of a spiritual vibe here. They want you to know that they wish to assist you in your path to acquiring your definition of success and abundance, and some sort of stability as well, whether it's a new house or it's a family unit or it's a financial goal of yours or something like this. They want to let you know that they wish to help you achieve this materially, but there's also this awareness that the things that would have worked for them don't really work for you. There's something about they don't know how things work in this day and age as much. Again, going back to that 10% of their effort would have yielded like way more results than 110% of your effort did. And it has something to do with like their support system that they had, their friends, maybe their family, their network perhaps, or for a lot of you, it could also be just the times that they were alive. For example, if this is silent generation or a baby boomer, and say you are a millennial or a Gen Z, it's objectively harder for you to buy a new house than it would have been for them, just economically, like factually and objectively, right? But there's so much of that ego and that pride of just don't get a coffee, right? Or just work harder. Well, okay. But that's not how it works, but okay. It can also kind of be a situation where maybe this person had so much support from friends and family. Their aunt might be selling a house, but they'll rent it to them, rent to own, for a third of its actual value. And you might not have privilege like that. You might not have a family that supports you like that. You might have an aunt that's selling a house at the same value, but there's absolutely no way that they would even consider selling it to you in the first place. And if they did, they certainly wouldn't knock a certain amount of price off the top. It can also be something like this person has a trust fund, perhaps, or they're very, very wealthy. And so it would, of course, be easier for them to maybe take out a mortgage or take out a loan for a few $1,000,000. It would make them feel a lot more comfortable than for you. For you, it might not even be an option. So they want to help guide you. They want to help you materially, but there's also this vibe of a disconnect where they're kind of realizing, they're aware that they want to help you, but they literally don't know where to start. And for that, it's also connected to the message here. You're doing a lot better now than they ever had to do. Because if they only have to pay a certain amount for a mortgage every month, and in 10 years they own their house, they are never going to know what it's like, perhaps, to need to even make a certain amount of money a month in a certain inflation of economy in order to be able to pay off simply a small apartment that doesn't even have your name on it, and the rent consistently goes up and the pay consistently goes down. That's not something that they know how to navigate. They only know how to maybe make the formality. They had a lot more support than you did, and so did the people that they gave their support to. And so that's why they kind of come to your energy sheepishly a little bit, because they want to be there as a support for you, but they literally don't know how. They've never needed support like the way that you need it. They've never needed to achieve the things that you want to achieve or that you need to achieve. For some of you, maybe just to get by, or for others of you, it's just you have big goals and dreams that this person has no idea how to navigate. They also want to acknowledge the fact that they always had a village. They didn't know what it was like not to have a village. I'm also getting that you've never known a day in your life what it feels like to have a village. And so there is this awareness here that you've needed to, do the job of 10 people just to be able to feed one mouth. Or you've needed to do the job of 10 people just to be able to have something to hold, like something to show for it. And they want to show up with kind of just emotional support and sympathy and empathy and compassion for you, but they don't know what else to offer besides that. They want you to know that they don't really feel qualified to assist you or even be a guide for you, like a spirit guide, but they do want you to know as well that they're still there for you. This is a little more ask and you shall receive if it's within their means, or they can somehow get it to be within their means kind of energy, than oh, here, I'm very connected spiritually and I know what's going on and I'm here to assist you because I'm a guide for you from a higher perspective. This might be, for some of you, it's like an ancestor or something, and you're the cycle breaker. So this might actually be someone who's learning from you spiritually. So when they're in their higher self might still be a version of them that's learning from you. The term higher self is subjective, right? Because your highest self, for example, if that's like source and oneness and cosmic consciousness, that's everyone's highest self. But if we look at this in individual streams of consciousness, your higher self, for one person, their higher self could be the frequency of someone else whose lowest self is walking around on the earth, right? And it's not saying that their highest self's vibe is super low. That's not what I'm getting. But it is just giving this vibe of they don't really feel, even spiritually, really qualified to assist you in practical ways or spiritual ways. They don't really feel qualified to be a guide for you, but they are there for you. And there's something about something coming in. What they can do, I'm getting, is keep an eye out. Be on the lookout for things that you're not seeing or you're too busy to notice or something like this. They want you to keep focusing on yourself, and they want to let you know that the best thing that they can offer you is keeping an eye out for you so that you have one less thing to need to perceive or worry about or stress about. They'll let you know if there's something coming in you need to know about, like a surprise or something to worry about, right? They want to let you know that they'll be on watch for you. And they also want to let you know that they're there to offer love, if nothing else. They are drawing this awareness that they know that in this day and age, or where you live or how you live or something like this, like simply love is not enough. But they're still there to offer it. There's this big vibe of, I know I'm not perfect, but I'm on your side, if that counts for anything. Okay. This person does love you. They just maybe wish that they were more present, or they wish that they maybe knew how to enact that more physically or spiritually. They're still on their growth journey, even on the other side. And there's something that you see that everyone else doesn't pertaining to them. And it's not anything that's bad. It just might be that they're exalted for something that you surpass and get looked down upon for. Say that this person like owns a business and everyone's like, maybe this person owns a failing business. Everyone looks at them like, wow, they're amazing. They own a business. Oh my God, it doesn't matter how it's doing, but they did it, like they did the thing. And you might be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, and people might be like, well, you should still like get a job though. Well, and it's something like that where there's some sort of distortion here and you're the only one that sees it. It's like, yeah, but you're not this person. There's this like comparison energy that's coming through, and that's kind of also why they feel energetically sheepish to come towards you. They want you not to be deceived by the people around them. These people specifically, they know right from wrong. This is some sort of, I'm getting coercion or manipulation or control tactic. That's also part of the reason why this person is like has control issues, I'm getting. They needed to learn how to set boundaries around people who don't believe boundaries exist. This is someone who needed to be like a mental health advocate around people who didn't believe mental health was a thing. It's something like this. And they're saying it's not an excuse for their behavior, but they can only carry as much as they can carry and then pass the torch along. And that's the same thing that you're doing. Unfortunately, you have been the one to break all of the ties, all of the curses. You've been the one to put all of the burdens down. They left still carrying some of them, but at least they were shouldering them so that somebody else didn't have to, is kind of the vibe that I'm getting here. This reading feels very much about them and not very much about you, which is fine. This is a message from them. It's what they want to share. One thing that they want to say about themselves that can be maybe a shining light or a message for you is that they didn't let themselves play. They took things way too seriously. It feels as though they have a life that, whatever this is, like say this business or this acumen or whatever the shared successes that you two have or are working towards, they want to say like they didn't have much to take seriously, but they took it way too seriously. And you have much more to take seriously, and that's why they want to remind you to have fun along the way. To have fun. They don't want you to mentally, intellectually, or even spiritually deceive yourself out of your Knight of Wands energy. Now, when we think of Knight of Wands energy, sometimes we can think of something like a player, right? Like a Don Juan. Knight of Wands can be non-committal. Knight of Wands can be things that are maybe perceived a little more negatively in the spiritual tarot community. But nonetheless, it is still an aspect of the self that is represented by the whole tarot. And so having a healthy integration of that energy is important. To be able to let loose a little bit, to be able to have fun, to be able to take things not too seriously. Now, applied maybe appropriately, yes, of course. But in the same way that if you look at like the message that's coming through here, okay, if you look at this, like people demonize the ego in the spiritual community. Well, yeah, of course, you don't want to be an egotistic jerk. But you want to have a happy, healthy solar plexus, and that involves confidence. Now, everyone will tell you to love yourself until you actually do. I'm hearing that song Everybody Supports Women by Sophia Zella. There might be messages in there for you. But it's giving, everybody wants you to love yourself until you actually do. Then all of a sudden it's, oh my God, what's wrong? And it's kind of giving this vibe here with fun. Okay, so mirroring that energy, but towards Knight of Wands energy, where you can look at Knight of Wands and be like, oh my God, a player. Or you could look at Knight of Wands the same way that you look at solar plexus and say, wait, I actually don't want to disown my whole solar plexus. I want it to be happy and healthy and wealthy and confident like all the rest of my chakras. I want it to be open and happy and healthy and balanced and part of a sustaining, beautiful, evolving, healthy system, right? And so they want you to look at where you might be cutting yourself short, selling yourself short in the fun department, in the detachment department even. And so they just want to draw awareness to that. It seems like they didn't have as much fun as they wanted to have because there were things they were taking too seriously that at the end of the day simply were not important. Maybe they were important, but they would have thrived more from either compartmentalization or more detachment or even just taking a beat and going and playing a little bit, having fun, right? They want to let you know that there is a healthy amount of energy that wants to kind of blow off steam and express and have fun and not take things seriously a little bit. Again, the way that it's applied is important, but not as important as you think, right? As long as it's not self-destructive. So that is something that they want you to be aware of, that's an important brick to build in your foundation that they didn't get to do. They do want you to know that they want you to reach your goals. They also want you to stop hurting. There's something here about they know ways that you hurt that other people simply don't see. They see ways that you struggle that other people don't see, or if they see, they don't care about. You're kind of giving the energy here in their perspective where everyone thinks you're fine all the time, or you look like you're fine all the time, or everyone thinks that you're just thriving, living your best life, super organized all the time, and not recognizing that because you're so, I'm getting high functioning, there's so much more that you actually have to deal with than the average person. So you actually need more support than the average person, but because you don't get it, you're higher functioning, but because you're higher functioning, there's more that is actually going on, good and bad, in your life. So there's kind of this vibe where they see that. Like the highs are higher and the lows are lower for you because you've never had that village to help keep things just afloat. So they want to acknowledge that, let you know that they see that. They want to keep cheering you on. They're kind of giving this energy of, what are you still listening to me for? Go out there and have fun. Okay, so with that, I'm going to close the reading out here. Well, there's one more thing, actually. Looking at stability, where you invest your money, where you invest your time, what property you choose, something about pentacles, literal pentacles, where you put them, okay? They want you to add a sense of play and openness to community with this. You don't need to look for the perfect community, but they want you to choose a place or choose an investment or choose a job that gives you the option to hold community within that space. And that will make all the difference. Okay. So group 2, this is your message from a past on loved one. I hope this helps shed love, light, and clarity for you. If you're interested in a personal with me, I do offer them on my Etsy store at Spiritualistik in the description box below. I have a sale going on the whole holiday season, so from the end of October all the way through January. So keep an eye on that. I also want to mention that if you'd like to meditate with me, you can find that in the first link in the description box below. It is a virtual meditation retreat you have access to forever. It is recommended to take it consecutively, but you do not have to. It's a wonderful way to have that resource in your pocket for if, when, why you need it. Okay? I love you. I'm grateful for you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If this was your reading, put a little shooting star emoji in the comments if you feel so inclined. And have an amazing day, week, month, year, and incarnation. And I'll see you next time. Namaste. Hi there, group 3. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today I'm channeling a message to you from a passed on loved one, and you selected the third group with Psychometry and Clairabilities. The first thing that I'm getting here for you is that you have a very powerful spiritual gift. I'm getting a lot of you have several, but there's one that's coming at the forefront here that this passed on loved one of yours wants to speak with you about and guide you through. I'm getting that this gift is something that when it is in full force, it's maybe not as fun. For example, say that you have a very strong premonition gift, but you know what's going to happen all the time, and it kind of takes some of the fun out of it. You have free will, there are things that are fated and destined, but you're also able to see the actions of the consequence of every single action that you take. Therefore, it's a little less fun, a little less surprising. It kind of takes the surprise aspect out of life. So after so long and such accuracy, it might get a little bit boring. It could also be something like the gift of discernment, where you always know what the good idea is. You always know what the best step to take is. And as you know what this best step to take is, you might also, for example, come into awareness that, well, that person that you really like, your discernment says, hey, don't go on a date with them. And there might be a part of you that wants to push back because you really like them, or they're really cute, or you haven't been on a date in a long time. Your gift of discernment might encourage you not to do something that you really want to do. Maybe not to go see your friends, even though you haven't seen them in a while and you really love them and you have a wonderful time when you hang out with them. And sure, you'll find out why afterwards, but this discernment will also gift you with the idea where you are aware if, let's say, there won't be negative consequences to not following this divine discernment, but you might not be as razor sharp as you would be. There might be things that are more nuanced, more semantic than just, hey, this is a good idea and this is not. And that is not to take away the spiritual gift or take away the knowing, but this passed on loved one of yours wants to guide you through this, and they want to let you know that they understand what it's like to try to toggle between energies that feel like they're conflicting a little bit. I'm also hearing heart-mind coherence, making sure that these things are in alignment. What you want to do and what your intuition are telling you to do in a perfect world, in perfect alignment, they tell you the same thing. But if your intuition is telling you, don't eat certain foods that you like, and your intuition is telling you, don't go out with those friends that you really like, but they're not good for your growth and evolution. Your intuition might be telling you things like, wake up with the sun and go work out. And your heart might be saying, well, I'm so tired emotionally. I could really use some fun with my friends. I really want to have a nice comfort meal. And following both of those are an act of self-love. This passed on loved one of yours is someone who, well, I'm getting emphasis on the loved one energy. For most of you, this is someone that you have met in spirit. For some of you, if you are mediums, this is someone that you've connected with in the medium space before. This is someone that you've crossed paths with. They might be an earthwalker, they might exist beyond the veil. It might be someone that you know, that you've come into contact with only in spirit. If that resonates with you, this is someone that's, I'm getting sneakily coming into this reading to give you this message. This is someone who is in spirit, beyond the veil, connecting with you. A lot of you do know who this person is. You would have interacted with them physically, but the first energy was coming through quite strongly to resonate with that. Specifically, if this is something or someone who has an idea of your gift already, perhaps you've used these gifts in order to assist this passed on loved one, or maybe this is a guide of yours who was physically walking on this planet Earth and might be a guide with your spiritual gifts and abilities or your spirituality in general. Let's get into the tarot a little bit and see what message this individual has for you today. They want to let you know that they have also been in an energy where balance looks a little different for them. I'm getting that this is someone who at some point you could have wanted to model your life after in your own way. When it comes to balancing things such as maybe with the Emperor, let's say something like your masculine and feminine energies. Balancing something along the lines of your love life with your career. Balancing things along the lines of your spirituality and maybe your personal relationships. The spiritual and the physical. The 4th house and the 10th house, or the 6th house and the 12th house, whatever it is. This passed on loved one of yours wants to let you know that you've received some sort of I'm getting enthronement. It's giving a coronation energy, and we've got the 4 and the 10 coming out, which I just spoke about. But since you have, now you're faced with, I'm getting smaller dilemmas that matter a bit more. So the tiny decisions before have more of an impact, and perhaps the bigger decisions have a bit less of an impact than they normally would. You're called to follow your intuition before it makes sense, as you have been, and you've been doing for a very long time. However, there's something about the accuracy of your spiritual gifts that are beautiful and wonderful, to the point where you're also aware that it's time for you to step into something larger, step into a larger paradigm. Because if you were to look at this in a different area of life, you would more easily be able to see that you've outgrown where you currently are. Oftentimes, when we think of a level of consciousness, a state of consciousness, a state of being, spiritual gifts, and things like this, sometimes it feels like you are in the void, or you are in the big cosmos and the universe. Oftentimes, putting that, or putting your higher self at an end-all be-all kind of energy. And this past unloved one of yours wants to let you know that this perspective is shifting. However, they want to make sure that you are not leaving your heart, your feelings, and your sovereignty behind as you follow this journey intuitively and spiritually, which is where they're coming through to guide you. I'm getting two things can be true. This and that can be true. It doesn't need to be either or, but they can exist in perfect harmony. This is where there's a reminder that we do live in a dualistic realm. And because of this dualistic factor here, there are going to be things that maybe conflict. There are going to be things that look or feel or act hypocritical, not out of a performative energy, but simply because to be balanced in a duality is to embrace polarizing aspects of self, polarizing aspects of energy, light and dark. That is an energy you understand. But when it comes to nuanced aspects of life, when it comes to you taking on more responsibility, taking on a higher role, taking on a higher path, this past unloved one of yours wants to tell you that they too have seen beyond the veil in the way that you do. And this might not be something that's commonly known about this individual. This is someone who's given you a lot of love specifically in your childhood. You might not know it, depending on the way that you know this individual. For some of you, it's very much giving someone that you connect with spiritually mostly, or it could be someone who passed away when you were very young. Maybe someone who met you as a baby or as a little kid and you don't really remember them. Or for a lot of you, it's someone who's just been a strong spiritual guide for you throughout your life, and then perhaps they passed on later. This is someone who wants to tell you that you are where you're meant to be. And they also want you to make sure that you hold the balance between not closing doors in your own face because of your spirituality, but also understanding that you are where you need to be. You're going in the direction that you're called to go in. And the things that are within you and around you right now, they're already in an energy of completion. And so when you feel like there's something more to add, there's something more to do, you want to go play, you want to go on a date, you want to go start a business, and your intuition, your discernment, your spiritual gifts, they might be, well, hold on. It is not because you're being encouraged to close doors in your own face. This past unloved one of yours wants you to be aware of the fact that it's because you've outgrown your current paradigm. However, you're in an energy of completion. And because you're in an energy of completion, you are already seeking, feeling, understanding. There's something more to this. There's something bigger than where you are. And it's beautiful, and you're meant to embrace it. But with that, the little things matter a little bit more. And the bigger things matter a little bit less. Because you've already solved the puzzle, you've already passed the level, you've already completed the test, whatever it is. Now it's crossing T's, dotting I's, now it's finding your way to the mailbox to receive that acceptance letter. Now it's checking your email to receive the result of whatever it is you applied for. Things like this. Smaller things. That they're a little less obvious, that the smaller things matter more. And so, they'd like to tell you that you're not the only one who's experienced this. And they do want to let you know that as you know, and they can tell, because they know you, is what they're saying, you've got a little more fight left in you. And you're in the state of completion. If you're able to turn one more thing on its head, anything, one thing, any one thing, and it doesn't matter which one, on its head, you will be back in a familiar paradigm that has more room for you to grow and is more in alignment with your heart space. And that is something that you've already been working on, mostly unbeknownst to you. They want to let you know that you are worth trying a little bit more. You are worth a happy, healthy, balanced home life. Happy, healthy, balanced mental state. Happy, healthy, balanced intuitive expansion and experiences, and also all of that energy in your heart space too. For your heart and your mind and your intuition to all be on the same page there. Which normally they are. But as you evolve intuitively, and it makes sense logically, there might be a few pieces in your emotional space, in your heart space, that maybe feel left behind, or maybe feel like you want to deepen some relationships, or feel like you want to uncover one more truth, or process one more emotion, have one more experience, or one more new perspective. And with that, they want to tell you it's your prerogative to explore as much as you'd like. But in this new chapter, in this new paradigm that you are expanding into, there is no lack of emotional fulfillment here. This seems to be stemming from some sort of fear, or something you've seen in the past, or something that you presume. Now, this coming from an energy that in some way, shape, or form holds at least a little bit of a role model energy for you. They want to tell you it looks like certain things can't coexist, but they were, and energetically still are, a living, existing example of energies that one could consider conflicting coming into perfect balance and coexisting harmoniously. Now, there's something about their physical reality, or their home, or something like this. Some of you, I'm getting like test results for mental health, or a doctor's appointment or something like this. For some of you, it's being shown a doorway. Maybe it's like their physical home where they physically lived, or something like this. There's something about you having access to understanding that such a marvelous life can also be quite a humble one in some way. And that's something that they wish to remind you about yourself. And it might not look the same. It might not feel the same. But they do want to tell you that from the other side, they're supporting you, they're rooting for you, and they want you to trust. They want you to trust not only in your spiritual gifts, but also in this next chapter of your own life, because they see and feel and know that there is so much beauty that is ahead for you that you can't even currently fathom. And it feels like you know this too. But even when you see it spiritually, when you see it, when you feel it, when you know it, when you discern it, there might be a little piece of you that's questioning whether to trust it. Maybe because the journey's been so long, because maybe your intuition has had you for so long cut out things that were fun, or cut out maybe friends or people, or bring things into your life as lessons and not blessings, or whatever it is here. And they want to tell you that you are worth giving it one more shot. They want to tell you that you don't need to wear your heart on your sleeve all the time, and you also don't need to put it away and always have your armor ready. You're stepping into a new paradigm, and if you feel like you want more, if you feel like you want to look outside of yourself or outside of where you are, it's because you're in an energy of completion. So be brave enough to explore outside of the pot you've been growing in if you're a plant. Rather than looking outside of you, seeing what other nutrients you can throw in there. Because you don't need the coffee grounds, or you don't need the baking soda, or you don't need the cinnamon or other things you could put in plants to keep them healthy, right? You've outgrown your pot, and it's time to be replanted. But as this is happening logically and it's happening spiritually, it's a sense of embodying a new version of you. Do your best to listen to this message, hear this message, and know this message deep in the core of your being. That the unfulfilled emotions of yours, or that emotional state of yours, or that heart of yours that has just had a little bit too much lately, it will not be unfulfilled. It will not be unseen. It will not be unloved in this next chapter, in this next paradigm. But it does need to come with. So this is about taking a leap of faith in the heart space, not just intuitively, logically, not just physically in your life. This passed on loved one of yours wants to let you know, yes, it can get quite mundane when you consistently know what to expect. It can be consistently mundane when you keep doing the right thing. And maybe the right thing isn't having fun and socializing and making friends or getting into a little bit of mischief. And that's not to say that light needs to resist shadow, or that shadow resists light. It is simply to say that you're in a state of completion, you've been doing a wonderful job, and as you grow and you evolve, you're going to continue to find that there's always room for your heart to be fulfilled. And they want you to look at them, take them as a living example. I'm also hearing the song He Lives in You from Lion King. That's kind of sending the message that this loved one of yours, they're all around you, even when you don't expect, even when you don't think you see them, or you don't remember that they're there. They're always around you, and they're even within you. And they want to let you know that. So group 3, this is a channeled message from a passed on loved one of yours. If you'd like a personal, I've got them on sale all holiday season, so from the end of October all the way through January 2026. They're on Etsy at Spiritualistik. You can find it in the description box below. If you'd like to meditate with me, I have a 21-day virtual meditation retreat. That is the first link in the description box below. It's yours forever, so you have access to an entire meditation collection that will help level you up spiritually no matter where you are. Beginner, intermediate, advanced, it's good for everybody, and then some. I made sure of it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check me out on TikTok, on Instagram if you haven't already. I do post exclusive content on my member channel here on YouTube, and also one on Patreon. I also have a donation-based book club that I've been working on. It's very fun. We are reading The Power of Now right now, the classic, and our next meeting is at the beginning of December. So we do one book every 2 months so that everyone's got the time and the space to read at their own pace. And we've got a little forum and a group chat and stuff going on too if you can't make it to the meetings or if you're a little shy. So if you're interested in any of those things, they're in the description box below. I love you and I'm grateful for you. Have an amazing day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful magical realm, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.